Hey, good morning guys. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing well this morning. Got a few bods roll in here. Might notice a bit of a new look. Got our midweek workshop and introducing Trade Foundry. If I can get the words out today. So wanted to start off by mentioning Trade Foundry. Trade Foundry is my Discord server that I've started, been working on, and it's a place where our mission is to forge resilient, disciplined and successful traders. And it's inspired by my background, by the blue collar worker, that works the 9 to 5 grind, or in my case it was more like 6 till 6 grind, but a place where we can help to forge a plan for the guys and girls that are working and trying to trade to have a better life for themselves and their family. The link is in the description, so I'd love you guys to join. Feel free to join, and we'll see you over in the Discord. And obviously the midweek workshop plays off the idea of that blue collar worker, and the Trade Foundry is built on that idea. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to roll over to the calendar. We'll say good morning first to a few people. Thank you for joining. Krypton, good morning. Yazine, good morning. Heidi, good morning. Pete, how you doing? Good morning. Sergio, good morning. Monia, good morning. Duke, how are you, mate? Mohammed, good morning, pal. Thanks for tuning in. Let's move over to the calendar. Okay. So Wednesday, the first week in January. I hope everyone's having a nice start to the new year. Let me know in the comments if you're green on the year so far. If you've only just started trading this week, hope you're doing well. So we've got 8:15 news with the non-farm employment change, then unemployment claims at 8:30, and FOMC meeting minutes at 2. A lot of traders will sit out Wednesday to Friday of non-farm payroll week, because we do have non-farm payroll on Friday due to volatility, and it's safer to sit on your hands. That's entirely up to the individual. I will be looking for positions. I took a position during the London session. We'll have a quick look at that. But overall, I think it really is down to the individual and how comfortable you are with looking for positions during the back end of non-farm payroll week. Certainly, if you're trading Friday, I would be waiting till after the news drops. Also with Thursday, it is a US National Day of Mourning. On Thursday, the markets are closed in respect of the passing of Jimmy Carter. So there will be no trading tomorrow. Basically, if you are in a position, you will need to have exited that position by 9:30 EST. Let's have a look over at oil, because we do have oil inventories today. Where are we? Why do I have nothing here? Here we go. No, still nothing. I've been having issues with my Chrome. I don't know if anyone else is having. Oh, it's down here. It's done a refresh and put all these ads up here. Here we go. Rightio. Okay, so we do have oil inventories at 10:30 today. All right, so it's always good to check on the inventories for oil if you do trade oil. It does move around. It's usually always the Wednesday, but sometimes due to other news or other impacts, it does shift to a Thursday. So it's always good to keep an eye on that. Diali, good morning. Syra, good morning. How are you? Karaoke Kings. I like that. G'day, buddy. How are you? So a little bit of news today to consider as we move into the markets. All right, let's head over to the charts, eh? Right. Also, guys, just a reminder to please sub to the channel. You'll need to sub to be able to comment. So please sub to the channel, like the video, and also share the channel far and wide. I greatly appreciate all your support. I am trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of January, so I need your help with that. We are on our way. I think we're at like 840 odd, so we're getting close. And once we hit 1,000 subs, my funded futures supporting my channel and going to give me the opportunity to give away to 50k my funded futures evals. So we need to hit 1,000 subs for us to be able to give away those accounts. So I'm looking forward to that. Sorry, yes, Trade Foundry is my own community. Something that I've had built, been working hard on, and excited to share my journey in there and help other traders along their journey as well. All right. So on the daily here for NQ. And yesterday you could see I used these tabs here to identify, once I've worked out the bias, I'll put in here red for bearish, green for bullish, and then I use that to reflect on the following day. So we had a good day with our bias yesterday, moving out of the bearish FEG. The reason I like that is because price was unable to close beyond the consequent encroachment of that bearish FEG. And if you look at the range here from this dealing range here, this was also up in a premium. And we had a nice reaction from that bearish FEG. So ideally what I'm looking to see here on the daily is a continuation or expansion lower. Looking for this low. So moving from internal range liquidity to external. And it looks like Monday is putting in the high of the week. So if we get a classic sell week, then Monday has put in the high and we may see price continue to fall lower. And then potential opportunity for TGIF on Friday. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be moving forward with the new beginnings. So let's move from, so we're going to continue to remain bearish for NQ. And then I use the time frame alignment from the daily, the hourly to the 5 minute for my executions. So looking here on the hourly, we have this failure swing, which we can use to run our standard deviations. And targeting the -2 to 2.5. Morning, Jerome. Thanks for joining, pal. And we have this region aligned with that low that we were looking at on the daily as well. What else I'm looking at here is these series of equal lows. And that's what also drew my attention yesterday, looking for a short. We had price pushing up into these bearish FEGs here on the hourly, and then we had one final push up, swept the high into this bearish FEG, which is exactly what I was looking for, because this high here just fell short of that FEG. So for me, that's a strong draw. Price pushed up into there. It had one last dig, and then what my eye was drawn to was this low resistance liquidity through here and these equal lows. Uday, good morning. Thanks for joining the stream, pal. So that was my draw for yesterday's price action, and now similarly we have these equal lows here, which is what I'd be looking for price to reach to today. So we have Asia, more of a accumulation. London took the high of Asia. So is it a London reversal with a New York continuation? Potentially. At least that's what I'm looking at the moment, unless of course we see a change in the state of delivery. But again, we've had change in the state of delivery, change in the state of delivery. It's quite strong on the bearish side at the moment. And you can see the curve here. All right. Hey Joshua, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining. Are you joining and then leaving? Is that why you said buy all, or are we buying everything? What are we doing? Buying? You've confused me with that little comment. Buying. So that's my idea for today, moving into the New York session, looking for price to run lower. Thanks, buddy. For those of you who don't know, Joshua is actually a good buddy of mine, but we haven't seen each other in a long time. Life has gotten in the way, unfortunately. While we're on NQ, let's have a quick look at the trade I took on London. So if we roll back a little bit, and it's not a unicorn, just to be clear. But what we had was the Asia high. We had a failure swing at the Asia high on NQ, whereas ES swept the high. And then ES also put in a hourly swing point candle formation. And if you're familiar with T-Trade stuff, you know what I'm talking about. So then what I was looking for once that happened is I wanted to see an opposing candle printed. Ideally, you know, I would have preferred this first set of opposing candles here, but there was no entry there. So then we printed this opposing candle. I was looking for the Asia low to be swept. Morning Fayaz. So once this candle printed, I just mark out the low. And what I'm looking at here is I want to have two entry functions basically. So my preferred method to get into the market is the unicorn, or and we will discuss this in further videos, the Pegasus model, as I've coined it, which is built off of the unicorn. That's a model that I've been working on. So my preferred model is that, but when we don't get the formation, the unicorn formation, I want to, particularly when we have the draw, we know where we think price is heading towards. I want to still try and get a piece of that. So this is my second entry function. So we mark out the low, and then as we move forward, we want to see price close through that level. So once we got to close through here, then I set a limit order. I put my stop above the high here. And because of the Asia low was open, I just targeted the low. So it's obviously more than 2R, but with the Asia low being there, that's what I was wanting to target. And then we get a fill. Actually, funnily enough, I bet you, I was trading MNQ at the time, so we didn't actually get a fill on NQ, interestingly enough. So MNQ did run up into this level. It was like 1 or 2 ticks into this level. But either way, that's the idea, that's the concept behind it. And you know, one of the trades I really like when it's, you know, we're only in it for 10 minutes, which is great. Jerome, 100% Jimmy, this is the exact reason I took the trade yesterday on Discord, a strong draw. Yeah, exactly, yeah. That was a great trade, by the way, mate. Watching price head to your draw without getting in can be frustrating at times, particularly when you're just, you know, relying, say, on the unicorn to get in, and everything is there except for the unicorn. Which is why I've started to move into having the 2 options to get into a trade. Because I looked at this with the SMT at the highs and price moving the way it was. I was anticipating the Asia low to be taken. So if I can get an opportunity to get in, then great. If you look at how the session ran yesterday morning, New York AM, there was no real opportunity unless you did something out of the norm. You know, we had this unicorn here, which was respected. Okay, that was respected, but bearing in mind we had 10 o'clock news. So if you were to set a position here, depending on how you trade. Price already ran 2R before coming back to the breaker. So you might not have even considered a position anyway, but also with 10 a.m. news, you really don't know what news is going to do or where news is going to send price. So you don't want to be holding a position when news drops, particularly if you're trading funded accounts. You might not mind so much on eval because you want to get your evals done and dusted. And while we mentioned evals, remember you can grab your MyFunded Futures and Apex accounts using code Jimmy. MyFunded Futures have 40% off for new users for the Starter Plus account and 20% off for existing users. So great opportunity to get a Starter Plus account there. And even when Apex is not running a sale, guys, you can always get 50% off using code Jimmy. So this was, you know, we had the idea, like I pointed out, from the higher time frame. We had our draw, wherever it is, over here on the, so you can see that there. I mean, that's just lovely. That curve, when you see that curve there, for me, that stands out. That's a clear draw on liquidity. Hey Jack, good morning. Monia, good morning. Isn't that a 1 minute bearish unicorn on NQ? We'll have a look at that in a second. And I think this was the trade that Jerome took. So he got back in on the retest of this FVG and ran the lows. So a great little trade. Because we had that draw, we had our eyes on that draw, and it's exactly where price went. Do I trade gold? I do trade gold occasionally. Oh, gold has some really good setups, to be honest. Like CL. Oil has some great setups. Had a really good long today on CL, but it just didn't give an entry unless you market ordered in. Hey Marcus, how you doing? So let's jump over to ES. Move out to the daily. Gonna have a similar view to NQ, no doubt. With the relative equal lows down here. Coming out of the bearish FEG here on the daily. Monday putting in the high of the week. Will we see expansion? We still have this value swing as well. So I'm going to stay bearish on the daily at the moment. And certainly a close through this level will give me a lot more confidence to see price continue down to this level here, potentially. I don't know what happened at the back end of London, but gee, price tanked a little bit, didn't it? So a similar scenario to NQ, running the standard deviations from the value swing. And I do like the draw, our target region aligned nicely with this low down here. And again, like yesterday's draw, which was eaten up, had these equal lows. And when you have low resistance liquidity like this, where you know it's literally every candle's touching that, quite strong. Okay, so looks like price is going to hunt out these lows. So it'd be interesting to see how price reacts at this level. Yes, the 15-minute equal lows, I think we were looking at them yesterday, do look really nice on NQ, that is. So it looks like these lows will get run pretty soon. No doubt there will be a reaction here. Let's see, we have a continuation unicorn. Through here, so it'll be, if price does run higher again, we'll be looking for this level to be tested and respected or mitigated. But moving through these lows, you know, before with quite a strong bearish trend, I'm going to be looking for a change in the state of delivery. To start flipping my bias to bullish. Let's have a look at oil. How did we go with bias yesterday? So I had a bearish bias going into the day, and that was incorrect. After I was having a look at the 7 hour because I've started to use this for looking at the profile. So we had basically the London time zone swept the Asia low, and looking at it from a daily profile, we have like a London reversal and then New York continuation. So with that in mind, I did flip over to I was starting to look bullish once price was disrespecting the 50% level of the previous day's candle. Now, price had already expanded quite a bit through London and into New York. So once price reached this level, this 50% level, a continuation unicorn did form for a long, but I wasn't really interested in it because price was mucking around on this level. It didn't displace immediately through. Eventually, yep, price closed through, and the unicorn, if you took the trade, you would have taken 1R because it didn't take profit until market opened today, and it went higher. Now we've swept the high here, and we've also swept this high as well. So looking for a potential reversal here on CL. Using the most recent information. So we're at a swing high, then we're looking for price to run lower. Let's drop down to the hourly. Okay, so what do we see straight away? Can anyone tell me what we can see here? Yeah, nice. Sorry, it's got it. I love it when things just stand out. You can see them straight away. It is also a unicorn. See how good it is when you see these things straight away. Now, the trouble here is price is disrespecting that level at the moment. So we're going to want to see price, see how price reacts to this bearish FEG. These highs, we might sweep the highs again. If we run our standard deviations, we did complete our bias almost to the, I mean, we ran that to the tick. If anyone doesn't use standard deviations, I'm surprised why you don't, because there really is insight to order flow. Can anyone hear that storm that's like cruising over my place at the moment? I don't know if you can hear that through the mic. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So Fayaz pointed out there's an inversion as well. I mean, there's a lot to say that we could continue to move lower here. But back to this, you can see that we completed our bias here. Target reached, -4 standard deviation. Oh, you can. Yeah, right. It was creeping up for a while. We get lots of summer storms here. If the screen goes black, you know I lost power. And I may or may not be back. Okay, so if price is able to find support here, or rather resistance, if we don't continue through, then we can look to see price run lower. And we have these relative equal lows here. Low resistance liquidity, high resistance liquidity on our side of price, low resistance on the other side of price. And then if we run from the high to the low, in fact I'll use the body on that one, then we see our target -2 to 2.5 is aligned with this low here. So that's the bearish scenario if price respects this level. And we may in fact be doing that at the moment. Let's have a look at Euro futures. Just give me 1 sec, guys. I think I need to close a window. Okay, back. Okay, so Euro futures, I had a bullish bias yesterday, but when I look at it again now, I can see why price turned around. We've reacted straight off these opposing candles here. And I didn't notice this when I was looking at price yesterday. We could see the reaction that price had to this level on Monday, and then yesterday wasn't able to run the high. It's an inside candle, and then today we've continued to sell off. This low, there's no wick to the downside. Strong draw in liquidity. So I'd suggest we're probably going to run this low and potentially continue. You think you need to, as in I think I need to close a window? Just a precaution. You never know, the rain comes in sideways here sometimes. Okay, so 6E, looking for price to continue lower. We had the bias wrong yesterday because we didn't identify where price was located at, which was the reaction to these opposing candles. I'll be safe, buddy. Thank you, man. Look at all this low resistance liquidity. Because I don't trade 6E all that often, I'm guilty of not looking at the hourly chart all the time, so just drawing a bias off the daily. And I do like to use the hourly in conjunction with the daily unless it's crystal clear. But you can see this low resistance liquidity right through here. Makes sense, price running lower. Oil looks good for shorts if creates an M5 changes state of delivery. I think oil definitely does look good for shorts while we respect this level here. Yeah, that would be a nice little setup there. And that would be a swing point Pegasus as well. We might as well quickly talk about that. There'll be more on that as time comes, but we can see that if you use the hourly candle over here, the hourly candle is into a bearish FEG, and then the Pegasus model has a single FEG in the leg that takes liquidity, but then we want to see an opposing FEG, so it's essentially an inversion, and then a close through. So this does look good if price is able to continue to move lower for a potential breaker there. CL's a commodity. Karaoke. Same with gold. Let's go and have a look at gold. That was pretty wild. Pegasus is a model that I've been working on, Ali. So I'll be starting to discuss that more as time passes. There is some information inside my Discord, inside Trade Foundry, that discusses that already, but we will be going into a deeper dive on that model in time. A lot of low resistance liquidity here on gold. A little bit of chop really. So it's not that clear to me where price might be heading on the daily. I was looking for price to reach up into this bearish FEG, ideally. Form a reversal and then look to hunt out these lows. The most recent information is the bullish FEG here. The price respected that and pushed out of it. So I'd be working with that same concept to look for price to reach higher. If price can continue to move higher, that'll be my area of interest, the 50% level of the previous day's wick, to see how price reacts to that level and if it's able to push through. Let's drop to the hourly. NCL Trader, thanks for joining. You can see all this engineered liquidity which has been built up through here. But that there is a case for price to run lower, but does it move to the high first? The price is still respecting bullish PD arrays. Small FEG here, the price is respected. Had this nice displacement through here, that price is still respecting as well. And that would be the change in the state of delivery that I'd be looking at. So while these levels are being respected, we can anticipate price to run higher. Quick look at Dixie on the daily. So I was previously looking at price to sweep the low here. It came within a whisker, so we can call that bias complete. And then we pushed higher from there. We're having a nice run here as well, so we're displacing higher. Displacing through this FEG here, so we can target the swing high. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin did sweep this. I think it was like only a couple of dollars. Price did push into this bearish FEG and then we've moved away from that. And we're now resting inside this bullish FEG. We're going to want to see this level respected for price and support price to get it to move higher. Or we're going to see these lows taken out. Hey, DTR, thanks for joining, buddy. So I think if price fails here, we're definitely likely to see these lows. I wouldn't mind seeing price come a little bit lower and start to consolidate even. I'd like to see alts start to rip, would be good. Be good for the bag I'm holding anyway. I might go and batten down the hatches here, guys. This storm's getting pretty intense. Is there anything you guys want to quickly run through before I jump off? We're going to continue to do this weekly. And we'll be streaming regularly inside Trade Foundry as well. So there'll be a schedule that goes up at the start of each week, so that you can be aware of when we're streaming in Trade Foundry. It's a pretty intense storm, I tell you. Yeah. I better go and check on my little man, make sure he's alright, make sure he hasn't woken up. Alright guys, let's wrap it up there. Thank you for joining today, I really appreciate it. Remember to sub to the channel. Link to Discord is in the description. Like the vid, share the channel around, and we'll be back again next week. Remember, tomorrow is a national day of mourning, so the market is closed tomorrow. Thanks guys, take care, bye for now.